Okay, hi everyone. Susan and Adam here with Candy Duncan from Denver, Colorado. Hi, Candy.
Hi, Susan. Hi, Adam. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we have been wanting to get you interviewed for quite some time, so I'm finally excited it's happening. And so what we usually do is take you through a series of questions to kind of understand where you've been, where you are now, and what you're looking forward to. So if you could do us a favor and tell us a little bit about you, your age, when you were injured. Let's kind of start there and find out what happened.
Yeah, I'm 30 years old. I was injured about 3.5 years ago while I was skateboarding. And before my injury, I traveled the world to downhill skateboard and compete. And so since then, or I guess when I was injured, it was how can I get back out there and enjoy my life right away? And that's all aspects of my life and everything that has to do with recovery.
So what happened to you? Tell us like specifically what you injured, what happened on that day.
Yeah, I fractured my T11 and I had a complete spinal cord injury. They told me I had a 3% chance of walking again, but pretty much every doctor that I saw said that it was very unlikely I was going to have any physical recovery after that.
So complete. So they were saying your spinal cord was pretty much severed except for 3%.
But they said it was completely severed. And, I didn't want to believe them, but I did see I believe if it was an ultrasound or maybe it was an x-ray. There was some type of picture that they took and I was able to actually see my spinal cord completely severed. There was nothing getting through.
So what the heck? How did you do that? How did you fall?
Yeah. Well, I was skating down the road and I gained too much speed and I ended up hitting a guardrail with my back.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yes.
So then what, were you out and didn't know what happened, or you knew what happened?
Oh no, I was awake for all of it. As soon as I hit my back and I was wearing a spine protector. So, thankfully that saved my life. But as soon as I hit my back, I lost feeling, waist down. So I knew right away. And then I continued to roll like past the guardrail down a hill for a while. Thankfully, I stopped rolling before a creek, and it was a while before anyone found me.
Were you by yourself, or I'm sorry, I forgot if you were in a competition or by yourself.
I was just practicing at the time, and there were a few other people I was with, but they didn't see me go down, and they had a hard time locating me. It's a long road.
How long did it take them to find you?
It took about 30 minutes for anyone to find me, and then there was still some rescue time after that.
Wow. So did you go into shock? Were you in pain?
I was in a little pain. I didn't necessarily go into shock. I was coherent and I was basically just trying to get anyone's attention to find me because I was in a place where I was seeing people looking for me, but they couldn't see or hear me. So I was trying to throw things at them, just trying to make as much noise as I could and get anyone's attention.
Gotcha. I'm glad you didn't go into shock.
Yes.
So you went to Craig after
Mhm.
that, and then did you have any surgery?
Yeah, I actually first went to because it was in a road near the Springs. So I went to UC Health in the Springs Memorial, and I had surgery there. I had a great surgeon, and I don't think we talk enough about the difference between a great surgeon and a bad surgeon and what a big difference that can make on someone's recovery. And so thankfully I had a great surgeon and he saw that I was really active. So he fused as few vertebrae as possible and kept me as, flexible as he could. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Do you have any metal in your back then?
Yeah, I have 3 vertebrae fused. Just the vertebrae I broke, and one above and one below.
Wow. Well, how did that impact you psychologically?
I mean, it was really tough. First I had my own internalized ableism to overcome, and then now it's like overcoming everyone else's ableism as well as dealing with, the issues in the hospital and the medical field and how they look at spinal cord injuries, dealing with Medicaid and Medicare and getting all the resources that will help me to get where I want to in my physical recovery, and getting them to believe that that is going to help me and that I am going to get there.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of obstacles.
Yeah, that is another challenge we would like to combine efforts on to overcome. Tell us a little bit about your family life, caregiving life, how independent you are. How does all that work for you?
Yeah, thankfully I have a really great partner, and he's been there with me since my injury. And at first I was pretty dependent on him, and now it's funny because he'll bring things up and ask me questions, and I'll be like, "Yep, I already took care of that. That's done. Did that." So I'm feeling pretty independent now, which is really great. But even so, like, I get tired. It's a lot on my body, especially just trying to recover as well. So sometimes it's great just to have the help, because like otherwise I get too tired. It's just,
Yeah.
it can get a lot. But yeah, now I am currently working on driving myself and getting my own car set up. So I got my vehicle. My setup's like kind of sketchy, but it's working, and I'm working on getting it like more professional. So like I have like portable hand controls, and I just like pull myself into my truck very, just barely, but I make it.
Yeah. So you're really from the waist down, right?
Yeah. So when I was first injured, it was like my belly button, everything below I could not feel or move. It just that line down.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any movement now, or have you been trying to recover down with your legs at all?
Yeah, yeah. So I now can walk with ankle braces and a walker, which is great. On a good day, I could walk around my apartment and I'd be fine. And on a bad day, I would need someone there to catch my knees, and I'd be, not able to always hold my weight.
Oh
So,
my
but it's
gosh.
something I'm working on, and I thankfully have some really good PT right now, as well as High Fives helped me out with covering training sessions. So I'm just like in the gym all the time.
Where is your gym?
I go to the Peak Center, as well as I have a gym at my complex that I have a PT who comes here and works with me. And then I also go to CrossFit Watchtower in Denver.
So how many days a week are you working on that?
I'm working out probably 4 days a week, and then I have hockey 2 days a week, which is a great upper body workout. And I feel myself using my hips and glutes, and even quads as well for that.
Oh my gosh, I would love to see that. And is the hockey, are you playing with able-bodied people, or is this a league that's not able-bodied? How does that work?
Yeah, it's sledge hockey. So we're all in sleds. It's for people who are physically disabled. That doesn't necessarily mean everybody uses a wheelchair. Some people just have some mobility impairments that keep them from being able to compete in the like normal, I guess, able-bodied series. But it's really cool. Avalanche, so the NHL team sponsors our team, and so they actually sponsored 3. We have an A, B, and C team, so that everybody can be on it. They're sending all of us to the NHL Classic. We all get to compete in it.
Oh my gosh, that's
It's really
awesome.
cool. Yeah, there's like, gosh, 30 plus of us.
So, okay, back up. Like, you're told you have a complete 3% connectivity, whatever. What in your brain was like, I'm not going to listen to this and I'm going to walk again?
Oh, well, I think that I have been told a lot in my life by doctors, this is the outcome. And I just am used to them just being on the low side pessimistic. So I was just like, yeah, sure. Check back with me in a few years and we'll see where we're at. So it's actually, I broke my arm snowboarding when I was 18 and they were going to amputate it. And they didn't. Thankfully, my mom, she showed up, bat out of hell, was like, no way. And she called around, found me another doctor who would see me and a surgeon who agreed to try to fix my arm without amputating it. And I had so much nerve damage that my arm was paralyzed for a year. And, they told us going into it, they're like, we don't know for sure that it's going to heal. We're not for sure that we're not going to have to come back and amputate it. We're not for sure that your nerves is all going to come back and your movement is all going to come back. And my arm is 100% recovered. So it was 100% in like a year and a half.
How much of that do you think was due to your will and determination and just visualization of seeing your arm healed? I'm just curious.
Yeah. You know what? I broke my arm at the beginning of snowboard season and decided that wasn't going to stop me. So I just kept doing my totally normal life with my broken arm, pretending that my arm was not broken. And, eventually it was fine. And I would always be like showing it off to my friends. I'd be like, look, I can move it like this much now, so I would just always be trying, always just be like having a good time with it, just trying to not letting it hold me back or be something that is bringing me down. Just be like, yeah, this is what it is. And we're going to go do it. And I'm going to try to use it as much as I can.
Oh my gosh, you're like the poster child of exactly what we're wanting to show the world. So, what are your goals for the future with your legs and walking and everything?
Yeah. My long-term goal is just to get as far as I can get. As long as I continue to see progress and recovery, I'm going to keep at it. And my short-term goal right now that me and my PT are working on is being able to walk around my entire apartment so that I don't even really have to bring my chair into the apartment. So right now I'm standing up to brush my teeth. We're setting it up so I can stand in the kitchen. I'm working on standing up from my couch with my walker, which is a really big distance.
Yeah.
If I can get that one, that would be the lowest surface in my house. So we're just working on strength and endurance.
It looks like a smushy couch too, is it?
It is. Yeah, for sure.
Even harder. So with your injury, did you not have any pain, like nerve pain or?
You know what? I have had, my left hip has hurt a lot ever. So when I was in Craig Hospital, because I was there for about 6 weeks, a little bit more, I started feeling some feeling come back a little bit just in my hips. It wasn't enough that when I left, they said I had gained anything back. But to me, I felt like it was a lot. And during this time, one of the feelings that really came back was some pain. And that one really, really bothered me for a while. But, they told me it was nerve pain and they wanted to put me on gabapentin for it. And I ran into gabapentin. I didn't like what it suggested, so I didn't take it. And instead I was like, I don't really know if this is nerve pain. This feels like there's something wrong. And so I spent years trying to get someone to look at it and figure it out. And, they'll say, oh yeah, your hip's out of whack. The bone is facing the wrong way. At some point we could visibly see the top of my hip bone popping out of the front of my, torso. And I had someone one PT just try to push it back into place, which didn't really work and was really painful. But I finally had a PT who figured out how to fix it. It was something in my hips had been jolted during my crash, and she figured it out and put my hip bone back in place. It was actually my hip and spine.
Is it kind of dislocated?
Yeah. It was, it had moved. And it was like this for years and I couldn't get anyone to fix it. So she fixed it, and it was great. Even I saw my body all of a sudden looked like my body again. I had used to have I have them again, like dimples on my lower back. And I didn't have them for a while. And after she cracked my hip, or like it wasn't cracked, she like did it really legitimately, put it back in place. And then it was like my back looked like my back again. And I was like, what? This is crazy.
That's another really strong point of not giving up for the right person to find out what's wrong with you. It's like if you keep trying and keep trying, eventually you're going to learn more, find somebody that's going to help fix something. And so I do think that a lot of people give up on stuff like that, and you'd be in pain forever, but you have this way about you that you're like, nope, something's wrong. We have to trust our body's intuition and keep speaking out,
Yeah.
And
like thank you. That's like the biggest thing that, I tell people when I'm talking to them about recovery and what their capabilities are, is like, your body will let you know. You just need to listen to your body and, believe in your body, allow your body the chance to try, and your body will let you know if it's got something.
So what do you do as far as, do you mentor people or do you work?
I was working for a while, and it was like an elected position, and that ended last year. I decided not to rerun. So I'm kind of figuring it out right now. This year was all about trying new rec activities, and it was awesome. Good. It was a great year.
What else do you do other than hockey and
yeah. Well, so before I was hosting and organizing downhill skateboard and luge events, and I hosted the first downhill adaptive event. I helped set that up. And so since then, I've still been figuring it out. I've been doing a lot of PT, a ton. I'm in PT like almost, or in the gym like almost every day, of the week, doing hockey. And, we did some traveling this summer, not anywhere far, places we could drive to. Like we go to Jackson Hole and do mountain biking and horseback riding and, go kayaking and camping, and just been doing a lot of that.
So you feel like you're living a pretty normal life, it sounds like.
Yeah, I really am. And now that I'm starting to get my vehicle back, like getting to where I'm driving again and driving myself, like it's definitely getting very normal again.
That's amazing that you've come that far in such a short time. I mean, honestly, you're really on it. And that just proves what you can do. Well, I would love to get you more involved with Mods for Quads. It's like exactly what we're trying to accomplish. If you have any interest in
for sure
about that.
Yeah. Any way I can help. I mean, it's definitely like everything that I stand for and believe in, and that I really, like to share with other people, because I think that everybody deserves at least the hope to try.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, one of our philosophies too is when you try, you're helping your caregivers and everything, because even minute gains that you have in core or whatever is going to help your caregivers transfer you. It's going to help you. I mean, Adam can speak to that, but any little neuron growth or change can help make a difference. So
yeah, it's great. It was actually a lot of things just recently I've become really independent with, and my fiance, my caregiver, poor guy, he hurt his back. Nothing serious. Well, I mean, it's a back though. In my opinion, those are all kind of serious, but getting him on a good chiropractor massage schedule. So he's okay now. But, it was really great that I was able to take care of myself during that time. He had to fly check on his grandparents for a week, and I was like, okay, for a week, I was able to just have a few friends come over and check on me and help me with little things, like set me up for the day. And it's not that I always like to do that, always would be hard to sustain, but it's like great that I can do that if I need to.
Yeah, that's incredible. And just that confidence to know that you're safe in your own hands, for a while.
Definitely.
Huge. Adam, I'm going to turn it over to you. Do you have anything you want to ask Candy?
Yeah, two things. One, one kind of current looking forward and another one kind of looking back at your timeline. I think that some people that watch this, that hear about you hitting a guardrail at probably a very high rate of speed, a high velocity injury, as they call it, with undeniably a lot of trauma, even with the spine protector. So, and if you were severed, you know, you were told you were complete, and you're clearly not complete anymore.
Yeah.
So could you describe a little bit about your timeline? You talked about getting sensation back around in your hips, around. So could you elucidate on the timeline just a little bit, like how far were you when you were feeling the hips, and then some of the other functional stuff, motor functional stuff that came back? Can you kind of give us a little bit of an idea of how your timeline looked when that stuff started to come back?
Yeah. So I was about 6 weeks when I started feeling more in my hips. And then when I left Craig at about 8 weeks injured, I started getting acupuncture, and 2 weeks into getting acupuncture, so now I'm about 2.5 months injured, I was able to flex my IT band, and I could see it in my quad, which was really cool. It was probably coming from my hip at the time, but that was like a really cool thing. And 6 months out, I could stand up with KAFOs. So they went like up to my hips. And then about a year out, and at this time, I'm still like not feeling much more than my hips. About a year out, I could stand with AFOs, but I was hyperextending my knees. So I was like being hard on my knees. So it wasn't great, but I was doing it. And I still couldn't feel much. And at about a year out, I could start feeling my bladder a little bit. And occasionally I could like catch it on the toilet. And so about 1.5 years out, I went and had them do whatever. I wish I remembered what kind of picture it was that they took, but I had them take another picture of my spinal cord, and it no longer was fully severed. There now were some threads coming through and some connections, and it was like really cool to see that. And I had to beg for this picture, and I had to convince them that it was like really important and we needed it. But it was really cool to have that because I could visually see the progress there.
Do you have that now?
You know what? I need to find it and look for it, but I'm sure I have it somewhere.
Oh my gosh, that's so valuable.
I know. I'll see if I have it. If not, I'm sure it's in my medical records. So
it's hard to get an MRI without, a doctor saying he needs it for a specific purpose.
Yeah, it was my first checkup from Craig, or like they did the 6 months and then they did like the 1.5 years, I guess. So it was the whole Craig checkup. So they were doing like everything, and I think that's the only reason I was able to get it passed is because I'm like, well, since we're checking all of this, I forget what I told them. I think I even told them something so that they would like get the picture. Like I kind of fudged the system.
Right. They have to have a box to check, right?
Yeah, exactly. But
I want to see that.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. It's been like 2 years now, but I'll see if I can find it. Cause yeah, that was like,
that's really
reassuring that like to keep doing what I was doing,
Yeah. I mean, that's incredible. That's what, doctors have been studying for years and years. And now the neuroplasticity boom and the term neuroplasticity and what it can do. That's everything you did. You did that on your own. Like, do you think that would have happened had there not been a connection between your will and the desire to walk again?
No way, because like it didn't just appear, I was working at it all the time. I had, a morning routine I had to do every day and now I still do it a few times a week, but not as often because I can do a bunch of other exercises. But I just had my partner was moving my legs and I was just trying to move my legs. And we did this every day for like 2 years. And in the evening for the first year, every night before bed, I would in my head skate my favorite skate road and like try to move my legs just like as if I was doing it. So, I mean, it's just constantly thinking about moving, trying to move every time I do something, trying to move. I think that if I had been complacent and hadn't tried it all, and even if like I had tried and hadn't gotten all the professional help I had gotten with like acupuncture and PT, which like is not anything super serious. This is just normal stuff, and getting chiropractor and making sure that my body is running well and eating right. Like, I think if I didn't do all those things, then that, it's all together.
Yeah. And your muscles would kind of get super hard and concrete and not be able to be flexible.
And it's been interesting because I was atrophied and now I'm regaining muscle from being atrophied. And so it's been like such a crazy thing to see my body going through this.
It'd be so cool if you were documenting those measurements and everything.
True. Well, I definitely know my pant sizes. At one point I was down to a 2 and I haven't worn a 2 since I was like 11.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, and now I'm back up to 6, my normal size, which is what I was before my injury. So I'm
That's
like,
so exciting. I'm so proud of you. I'm happy
Thank
for
you.
you. You've gained
Thank
such
you.
momentum back. I'm going to sign off on the recording, but I'm hoping you can stay on for a second. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thank you for all your information. And we are excited to like see where you go from here.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad we all got connected.
I know.
Absolutely.